my name is Mali Nalunga, and I'm here to just walk with us on this journey. If you can see the title on my schedule, it's intentional healing. Yeah, I've come to believe that everything we experience in life, I had Kemi saying a bit of anxiety. We are knocked. We are knocked by pain. We are knocked by issues. We are knocked by traumas. We are knocked by trials. We are betrayed by friends. We are rejected every day. Like something is happening, and I feel like if we don't purpose, if we don't just wake up and choose and tell ourselves, I am tired of being like this. I'm tired of allowing this pain to put me down. I'm tired of, I feel like at one point on this journey of healing, we have to get tired of the normal. Somehow as we're experiencing pain, there is what comes as a normal way. It becomes normal for you not to wake up and brush. It becomes normal for you not to show up with friends. It kind of becomes normal for things to happen, in an unusual way. And somehow we find ourselves moving like that. But I want us to disrupt. I want us to disrupt the things and be like, this is an intentional journey for me. This is an intentional space for me, and I'm going to do something. And today I'm excited. Thank you so much all for coming. I'm very excited today because I feel like each one of us today is going to commit to something, even if it is small. Even if it's small, I just want us to share that. Like, even if it's small, I want you to commit to something. Even if it will be clapping, even if it will be smiling, even if it will be like smiling while crying. But I want to hear from us. Can you commit to something? The journey of healing requires intentionality. It requires you to scream at the same time laughing. It's funny. It sounds funny, isn't it? It requires that from you. It requires you to tell yourself, even when I don't feel like brushing, even when I don't feel like jumping out of this bed, you commit and you tell your mind, I am going to move out. You command your body and you're like, your body, you are going to submit to me. I am coming out of my bed. I'm going to brush. And guess what? I'm also going to eat. I'm going to eat even when it won't taste nice, but because I have to survive. While on this journey of intentional healing, you must have the intent. You must have the intention. Why are you doing whatever you're doing? Why are you here? Why are you here? When you saw this and you're like, I'm going to join it. Why? So if your why is so strong, then I guarantee you are on the right space and you're going to heal. You are going to wake up one day and anxiety is no longer putting you down. Because you've decided, you've made up your mind, you've made up your spirit, your body and soul. You are like, all of you have to bow to me. I am going to command and things will have to happen. I'm not going to give up. So that's what we call intentional healing. It's a space of, sometimes we become like mad. I don't know if on this journey you've done things and you felt like, I think I am running crazy, but in a good way. You're like, if it means dancing around my room, I'm going to dance. If it means me putting on some music and just dance out of the blue, I am going to do it. And after you dancing, like, honestly speaking, am I not crazy? But you're not. You're not. You just committed yourself to disrupting the normal. Okay. Sorry, I told you in case of any background. Yeah, I'm here with my 2 children. Yeah, so I just want to hear from us. Anyone who wants to share something? What does it mean? How are you? Which state are you in? Where are you? How can I be of help? How can we be of help here? All of us here, not me alone. But what can we tell you? How can we challenge each other to start on something, to disrupt that journey of healing? Yes. Anyone who wants to share something? For those of us who have just joined, I'm called Molly. I am an emotional healing coach. I desire to see you bounce back and finding your identity again in life. No matter what you've gone through, I believe you can make it. Yes, anyone wants to share something? Yes, welcome, my dear. The mic is there.
I feel sad and depressed, but I'm tired of feeling this way. And so I'm here hoping to be able to gain something so that I can get back to who I am, which is a fun-loving person.
Wow, I love that. Thank you so much for being honest. Thank you. You know, like I said, and I send you my hug. Please receive my hug. I know we are miles far away from each other, but the power of the beauty of the Creator, you know, that even as much as we are far away apart from each other, we thank people who have come up with technology that we can feel each other. So I send you my hug. Please feel it, and I'm feeling with you how you are feeling, being sad, being depressed. And I want to clap for you for saying that you are tired. You know, that feeling that I'm tired. You know, when you are tired, you start telling yourself, okay, now that I'm tired, what can I do? What can I do to deal with this? At least the first step is you being here. Thank you so much for joining, for coming on an intentional healing. Now, can we go into take another step and asking, you know, I remember the first time I came here, I challenged us that you need to be aware of how whatever happened to you, whatever you're experiencing is affecting you as a person. Being sad and depressed, how is it challenging your day-to-day operations, your day-to-day functionality? What are you losing as a result of being, you know, depressed as a person? And when you get to know that, you are able to know, what do I need to gain back? Things might never be the same again, you know, because of what happened, maybe whatever situation that is making you sad, things might never be the same again. But again, we can do something and at least get something, even if it's small, we can get something, you know. So, out of that depression right now, that sadness right now, are we able to challenge that normal that looks like the normal now? Are we able, what can you do to go back to the joyful person you were before? What did you love doing back then? And are you able to try and do something today, tonight, or this morning, or this afternoon? Are you able to do something again? Because pain in our mind keeps telling us, no, you no longer love those things. You no longer love music. You no longer love moving out. And yes, don't move out. The voice in our mind, the voices that say they're talking loud and clear, you know, they're like, no, yeah, it's okay not even to visit anyone. Yeah, it's okay not to listen to that music. What's the use anyway? And somehow we kind of incline to it, but yet it's robbing us of something so beautiful. So I want you to go back to that person. I don't know if I can pronounce your name well. Please help me. How do you pronounce your name so that I don't make it a mistake? How do you pronounce your name?
It's Renee.
Renee, yes, beautiful
I've
name,
been
Renee.
trying. Thank you. I've been trying. I like horror movies. I've been trying to watch scary movies. I've been trying to listen to music, and I feel like I just can't bounce back. But I have little kids, and I don't want them to see me like that. I don't want this to be the normal. I don't want this to be like when they grow up. Oh, you remember when mommy just laid in bed all the time? So I'm trying to shake it. I don't know how. I'm trying to do the things that I used to do, but they're not giving me joy.
Thanks, Renee, for coming up. And yeah, and I want. I feel like today you are switching me into a direction. Yes. Okay, into a direction that I'm going to emphasize. I want us to change a bit of the language now here. Like and please don't get offended or don't feel, and anyone can come up and say something about it here. It's an open space for us to share with one another. But I feel like something that has helped me on my journey here has been switching languages, where I feel like I'm like, I can't come out. I can't come out. I'm like, I'm tired. Like, you know, I'm tired. I've learned to speak, you know, the thing I want to see happen in my life. And I've made it an affirmation literally every day. And I'm like, you know what? Yes, the reality is, if you feel really tired, uh, I can't, I feel like I can't come out of this. But I want to believe that the universe is working with me. I'm like, it's working with me. All the powers are going to agree to my desire. Like, I start switching my language because our thought pattern has an effect on our behavioral tendencies. Our thought pattern has an effect on our behavior tendencies. It will have an effect on our actions. It will have an effect on the decisions we are going to make, whether they are going to be in our favor to heal or not. Yes, Rachel, welcome, my dear.
Thank you. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to share something with Renee and the group, but please finish sharing first.
Yes, Rachel. Please, may you repeat that if it's okay?
Sure. No, I wanted to share something with Renee and the group, but I didn't want to interrupt what you were sharing. So please finish first, and when you're done, I can hop in.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yes, where was I? I was, yeah. Yeah, as just the change of language. It's very, very helpful. And I know, Renee, it's going to help you. I want you to try to change the language. When you feel like really your mind and your body is telling you, like, I don't think that I can come out of this, start changing it and tell yourself, I am going to come out of this. And say that, like, make it a routine. Like, kind of make it like when you see above there, I say the power of a disciplined routine. Like, make it a routine. Just wake up and say, I'm going to say these statements literally like 10 times a day, or every time this feeling comes back, like I can't bounce back. Every time immediately you feel it coming again, like, oh, Renee, you can't bounce back. You're like, oh, you're joking. I am going to come, I'm bouncing back. I have many reasons why I need to bounce back. I have people who care about me and people who love me. I have to bounce back. Bring the intent, bring the intention. Why do you want to bounce back? You deserve to smile. You deserve to enjoy every beautiful creation that God made, So you're like, you know what? I am going to come back. Imagine it's like a conversation and you see that fear is facing you. Zion, no, please. You feel, sorry guys, I was talking to my son. So, like you feel that fear facing you, and like today, I am facing you. I am going to bounce back. I want you to try at least today. Can you do that for me? At least every day, every day, give yourself a try, maybe for 1 week or for a few days, and change the language. I know you will come out. So, and that energy is going to be coming every day. That energy is going to, because it's the words that are coming out of you, it's like the energy that is radiating around you, and that's the energy you're going to operate in. So when it comes, tell yourself, no, not again. I am bouncing back, and I have to bounce back because of these reasons. I have people I care about, people care about me, and they also want to see me strong, but not them. I deserve to see myself strong and coming out, Yes. So for now, let me stop there. Yes. Yes, someone wanted to say something, please. I don't know if you're back. Yes, let me read the message. Yes, we have here, someone said, stuck in bed. Lori, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name properly. Sorry, my dear. I know you can come out of that bed. And actually, while we are talking, are you able to take a step and jump out of the bed? We are going to be practical here. We are going to be practical here. Hey, yes, Crystal is saying, baby steps, try something for 5 minutes. Amazing. Yes, it works. Just take one step. One. Actually, that's what we are asking for. One. Yes, one. So, are you able? Yes. Come and share, my dear. Welcome. Share. I see your hand up. Please open up.
Yeah, thank you. I was going to say that, yes, everything you're saying, my wise mind understands. And Crystal, thank you. My wise mind understands that too. And it makes so much sense. And my emotional mind, though, this has been like 3 months, and I work for a living. So my production is down so drastically because I can't get out of the bed. I don't really have anything right now to keep me going. And I know it's up to me to make that happen. I know that. There's no one that's going to come save me. There's no one that's going to get me going. I can get help from my therapist. I can get help from the rooms and things like that. And again, as I said a couple of times, my wise mind knows all this, but my emotional mind just doesn't want to do anything. It's really hard. So I don't know how to even get out. I mean, I do get out of the bed, obviously, but I don't know how to just get up and, wake up and excuse my language, but get my ass out of bed. And even brushing my teeth and showering, I do it, but it's so friggin' painful. Just basic things. So it's just really, I am sick of it, but maybe like you said, Molly, maybe I have to get more tired of it for me to take action. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I could lose my job over this, and I live from paycheck to paycheck. I'll really be in trouble. So that's pretty much it. It's just.
So what Nalunga is teaching us is that do you know what your reason is? Did you, I know you lost it because obviously you're not getting up like you used to, but she's trying to teach us to find a reason to start getting up and or to find it, like to intentionally find something to get up and and push us. And the only reason I'm saying that, Lori, is because Kimmy knows this, and I don't know if anybody else does. I've been suffering from a neurological issue for years, for 3 years now. And today I was having a really hard time this morning. Like everything felt so unreal in my head and I couldn't get up and I just wanted to stay in bed and stuff, right? But I pushed myself and say, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done with this. I'm like fed up of this. And I've gotten to the level where I just kept telling myself, you need to be fed up, Crystal. And that's what I was. I was fed up of letting my body dominate me. So I got up to eat some crackers and drink some water so I could take my medicine and stuff. And I'm pushing myself to get out and run some air and run an errand and stuff. Because I refuse to stop giving in to this and letting it stop me from living my life and stuff. So I totally 100% feel you in a sense, maybe not to your level, but I feel what you're trying to say, except for the only thing is that I'm pushing myself to say, I'm done. I'm done, Crystal. I'm done with this. And the reason is because I want to live. I want to get out. I want to do something. And like a little, like I feel like my body is just trying to like control me, just like, your emotions are controlling you. And I have to, you do find what works for you. But for me, what works for me is reprimanding myself in a kind, loving way, but reprimanding myself to be like, no more, no more, Crystal. We can do this. We can do this. And I have to like put myself up and push myself up and stuff like that. And be my motivator. And because if not, I will just stay there and I will feel exactly what you're saying. Cause that's what I felt before this, before, all of these few months when I've been pushing myself to get up. Now I'm driving again. I wasn't driving. Kimmy knows
Wow.
that I wasn't driving for like a
Great.
year. And now I'm driving again. So even if it's little, like around here in this area, it's not big driving. At least I'm in the car and I'm driving. And I know it's just going to take time. That's all I'm saying.
That's phenomenal. I'm really happy for you, and I am so very sorry for what you've been going through with your neurological challenges, and it must be brutal. And to get to a place where you're driving, whether it's a half a block even, is amazing.
Yeah.
for me, just me personally, I don't want to bring the room down. I'm sorry. I don't want to be
No,
triggering either. But
no,
for
Lori, go ahead.
me,
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
We
thank
are
you.
here for each other.
Thanks.
You're in a safe
Thank
space.
you. Thank you. For me, I don't really care if if I went to sleep tonight and didn't wake up in the morning, I wouldn't care. It would be fine. So that's really depressing. And I am depressed, and I don't have really anything to look forward to. And again, I know it's up to me to write my own story, or to, all those expressions. It's up to me. I'm the author of my book. And I don't even have the desire to write a book for myself, or even a paragraph. So that's the difference, I think, between your story and mine. At right now, I'm hoping I can tell your story. Right now I can't. So that's the difficulty and the challenge I'm having.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Kimmy go first, but before she does, I was exactly where you were at the beginning of this year, and I refused to go to the doctor and psychiatrist and stuff because I was like, "Fuck that shit! I'm not gonna be put on meds." Until the doctor convinced me, and he sat down and he was like, "Look at you! You can't stop shaking. You can't get out of the house. You've shut yourself down." He goes, "Crystal, you need to stop neglecting that. You need a little bit of a help, just a little bit." And that's exactly what I said, okay, fine. I gave in, and I went, and they started me on two meds. Now I'm off of one, and I'm just on one because I'm able to function with just the one. And eventually, when this starts to calm down, I will be off of the other one. However, I accepted that I just needed a temporary little boost and help of serotonin or whatever, just to get myself up and stop thinking those thoughts that you're having of I didn't want to wake up. It got to a point where I started cutting myself, and that's when I said, "Oh, what are you doing, Crystal?" And and now I don't have those thoughts. Now I just, I mean, I don't think I don't suffer. I do, and sometimes I just want to bash my head against the wall because of this issue, but I don't, because I don't. I'm thankful that I have this little boost that helps me not think that way anymore. I don't know if you're willing to try that, or if you are trying that. And if you are, if you're willing to try something else, because I had to go through like 4 or 5 different kind of pills just to find what worked for me. And go ahead, Kimmy.
Hi, Lori.
Hi, Kimmy.
Every single thing that you said, I resonate with and have it personally experienced. Like the showering, the brushing of the teeth,
Boy,
work,
sorry.
yeah, all of that. Um, and every one of us is different. And I don't know if you're seeing a therapist or psychiatrist or on medication, and that's everybody's personal choice, right? But if
Yes.
you're not on meds and you're not opposed to it, something to look into. That I'm on meds, um, and I know that it keeps me alive, basically, and there are non-medicated approaches to treating depression. There is TMS therapy and Spravato. Those are for people who have been um, depression medication resistant. Something to look into. Journal every success, maybe. Ask what's holding you back. What are the pros and cons of that? You mentioned Mel Robbins' book, her as an author. She has a book called 5 Second Rule, which I don't know if, like, once you identify a goal, like taking a shower, you have to act within 5 seconds, and there's some like brain science behind, you know,
Yeah.
how that works. Create a habit
Mm-hmm.
tracker. Talk to your work about a leave of absence. Leaves are there to protect you. So if you're not on a leave and you're worried about your job, um, you have rights. And then maybe a life coach. Um, I don't know. Those are just some ideas that I came up with, but some days you're just not going to feel like it, and that's okay. That's okay, love. That's okay.
Thank you, Kimmy. I I am on medication. I'm on an antidepressant, and I do have a therapist and a psychiatrist for meds, and he thinks that I should increase my antidepressant. And I know there's a place for Western medicine, absolutely, positively, and I just always, when it's possible, I like to go holistically, but I may just have to give in and increase it. And I don't like, I've had to go through a lot of meds to find something that would do anything. And yes, I had mentioned Mel Robbins and the 5-second rule. I know about the 5-second rule, and for some reason, for me right now, and I know I have to act within 5 seconds, but it still is not working. And but you said a couple of other things. I can't. Oh gosh, it'll come back to me. But thank you for all your suggestions. And I guess I'm going to have to give in and just increase this medication, which I really don't want to do. But I don't
Lori, our
know.
non-medicated approaches, very effective non-medicated approaches too. But then, and there's Eastern medicine and Western medicine. Both of those are there's a place for both of those in our in our
Yes,
self-care, right? But and I'm not trying to push medication or anything, but just ask yourself, like, write down, like, why is it that you don't want to be on medication? Because I felt that too. Like, I felt like, because then I have to say that I can't fix it myself, and so I had to do some acceptance and kind of like show myself some self-compassion, that being on medication doesn't make me weak, doesn't make me lesser than someone else, and it doesn't mean I'm broken either. um and so that's how I look at it. I wish I didn't have to
I
take
hear you.
medication either, but yeah, but I see the benefits of
Same.
how it positively impacts my life as well as everyone that I love, because I won't isolate as much. I don't know. I love you, and change. I don't know. I'm a firm
Wow.
believer in changing. If we're not happy with how we feel, then we have to change how we think, because if we do those things, it'll change our behavior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes,
I love you.
thank you,
Wow.
Kimmy. I love you too.
Very thank
And
you.
with the medication thing, it's not. I know certain people think about taking medication the way you described it. For me, I'm just more concerned about the side effects. But but I'm having side effects from not taking it also, or you're not increasing it. So I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't, I think. So anyway, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for your support, just even listening, in your input, just everything. I really appreciate all of you.
Lori, are you
Thank
working now?
you.
Lori,
Thank
are
you.
you
Thank
working?
you.
Oh, sorry. Lori, are you working right now?
Yes. Oh, yes. That's what I was going to say. Is I'm self-employed, so I can't. I'm a 1099 status,
Okay,
so
okay.
I can't.
Do you struggle
Yeah,
with
if I
sitting
take a
down at
leave.
your desk? I know if you take a leave, you don't get paid.
Oh,
Do you struggle with sitting
yeah.
down
I
at your
work on
desk?
commission.
Okay, okay. There's
Yeah,
this
I
website
do.
I found. There's this website I
Uh-huh.
found called Focus Mate, and I try to do one at least one every
Right.
day. And you basically sign up. You pick a time slot, and you both of you meet on video camera and you talk for like 5 seconds. What are you working on? I'm working on this. What are you working on? I'm working on this. Bam, you go on mute, video on, and you just sit there and work together. It's like an accountability partner. And with my ADHD and lack of focus and productivity, sometimes that's been a game changer. And
Wow.
people do it
Thank
to
you,
clean
Kimmy.
it. Yeah.
Okay, I'll check it out. Focus Mate, right?
Yeah. And I was kind of embarrassed to say that I use it, because I felt like it's a
No,
sign,
don't be.
it's a sign of weakness, but no, it's
No,
a
not at
great
all.
tool. It's really
Don't
changed.
be.
It's phenomenal. Thank
You
you.
get sessions a week.
Thank you, guys. I want to hear from Rachel as well. Our hand has been up for long. Yes, Rachel, you had something to say.
Hi, yes. Lori, I know that I've been in and out. I had to take a call, so I apologize for being disruptive and may have to hop out. I'm expecting someone to arrive soon. But I just wanted to share that I can very much identify with difficulty with just getting out of bed to do activities of daily living. There are times that I go into the bathroom and be like, oh, I have to brush my teeth. And I'm already in there to use the restroom. And I'm like, it would take 2 seconds to put toothpaste. And I spend more time thinking about it sometimes than it would actually take to do it. And then I just walk back to bed. And sometimes I can not necessarily blame it on, but it is attributed to chronic illness because of dysautonomia. But then there are other times that it's not. And it certainly is mental or emotional or behavioral. And Kimmy just mentioned Focus Mate. And what I sometimes do with my friends is I just call it an accountability buddy. And you reach out to a friend or text them and say, hey, I need to brush my teeth today. And they say, okay, if you haven't done so in the next 5 minutes, I am going to ride your ass until you brush your teeth. And so that is something that I have found helpful. But also for someone else that's struggling with it, if you're struggling to get out of bed and brush your teeth or do a skincare routine or, sit down to do work and someone else is struggling with similar, I have zero problem being somebody's accountability buddy. Because not only would it benefit another individual, it would also selfishly benefit me. And if we're both struggling with something similar, there's that part that isn't just the behavioral support, but is that sort of cheerleading and that recognition of how gosh darn hard it is to do something like that, and providing not only support to get there, but the cheerleading after. And it's different when I ask a friend who doesn't understand how challenging it can be sometimes just to take my morning meds or, walk to the refrigerator to get my, instead of a drink, my IV fluids or whatever it is. It's challenging. And so I'm happy to provide that support. I also want to say that I understand so much about, preferring going holistic. In 2008, 2009, I think, I bartered with a friend who was the national science educator for planetary herbals. And she would travel 3 weeks out of the month and I would watch her dogs. She lived on a farm and we would, go out and get elderberry and pick fresh blueberries. And although illegal, I was in pain. She would grow, poppy plants and we would, boil it down and do craniosacral therapy and moxa and cupping and ionizing, detoxifying foot baths. It was just, I have never felt better in my life doing those things. And then I got sick. And now, I would be dead without Western medicine, period, end of story. And so, like Kimmy said, there's that gratitude for doing that. And I just made a choice going on this really strong pain medication that I hate for a variety of reasons. But I recognize that it does improve my quality of life. Yes, there might be side effects, but like you said, I also have to look at what are the consequences of not taking that. And it's challenging. And I think people who don't really appreciate or sort of run to Western medicine, not to say that there's anything wrong with it, zero judgment, but for me, I definitely understand how much better I felt utilizing these other things. And certainly I am not I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a medical professional. I don't pretend to play one on TV. However, I will say from my own lived experience, I also struggle with anxiety. And I do not like benzodiazepines. If someone else wants one, yay, get them all, that's fine. They're not for me. And I went on, I think it's like the Vitacost.com, and there's a med called GABA-COM, G-A-B-A, just like GABA. And it has been so incredibly helpful to me, just in terms of mitigating the paralysis of that overwhelming anxiety. And also I can talk to you further, maybe off a group more specifically, but also, I don't know if your psychiatrist has tried, or if you've done, I think it's pharmacogenetic testing. And rather than going through like all of the meds to get to one that works, it will show you, it's like a simple DNA swab of your cheek, or like a sputum sample or something, but you can send it in and it will tell you like, okay, which antidepressant do you hypermetabolize or do you not? And also I know that sometimes you can trick your brain, like for me, even if it's the same like SSRI or SNRI, for whatever reason, if you're on it and then it stops working, rather than upping the dose, for me it's been helpful to swap it out. And for whatever reason, it, I don't know the science behind it, but it does trick your brain sort of into working better. And for me, again, everybody and every body is different. And I know this group isn't about medication. It's more about the power of, discipline. And, but I do just want to say that for me, Trintellix, or it's also known as like 4-tioxetine, I can put it in the chat, has been life-saving. And it's not an SNRI, it's not an SSRI, it's a new med, and it just works slightly differently. And so that accountability buddies, those are things that have been helpful for me. And just also rewarding myself that if in a day the only thing I do in that particular day is breathe, that is huge. And if I feel like I need to brush my teeth, breaking that down into steps, like, okay, well, I might not be able to floss, brush my teeth, and use mouthwash and my crest strips all in one day. So how can I break that down? And maybe if I take my flosser, which is less ideal than floss, but it's easier, and just do the left side of my top teeth, that is better than nothing, and trying to reward myself for that can be helpful. But I do just want to validate and acknowledge that I think that, at least for me, we can all know these things, but knowing them and implementing them are two vastly different things. And I never want to minimize for anybody how incredibly difficult it is to do those things. And I know, a lot of people used to look at me and say, oh my God, like, you're so strong, you're so resilient. I don't know how you do it all. And the reality is, I don't. I often isolate and hide. And my friend calls it, going into, we call it like the undercover mode. And then I pop out and everything looks great. But in reality, I need to reach out during those times. And so I never wanted to sound like, oh, I have it all together, because I don't. And it is really, really hard. And we need other people. And sadly, our society has focused so much on this independence. And when the reality is interdependence is what we need to be striving for. But it's really, really hard. And so I send you, Lori, and anyone else who's struggling, Renee, I just really resonated with you too, because it doesn't matter how often I put one foot in front of the other, left foot, right foot, repeat, and act opposite to my emotions, or put on music that I loved. And, I have fresh flowers on my table and lighting candles and, Bath and Body Works soaps, and just little things that make me feel good, that sometimes life just feels like it sucks. And so while I can't offer, any advice or any feedback, what I can say is that there have been years and years and years that I didn't feel good and I didn't want to be here. And I'm glad I'm here. And I always say, and it's not my quote, I don't know who it is, but the light at the end of the tunnel isn't the illusion the tunnel is. So I send all who are struggling so much love and so much light. And I know I say that often, but I really, really do mean it. And I envision myself just wrapping all of us up and zipping us up in white light. And just, that subjective feeling of being held and loved by another, and knowing that when I may say, like, I love you, you're like, okay, who's this chick? Like, she doesn't even know who I am. Well, I value each and every one of you because you are human, and just the fact that you exist and that I exist, our worth is inherent in the fact that we are, not what we do. And I think that's why we're called human beings rather than human doings. So sending light and love to all of you today.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And while listening to all of us, each one of us here, something came to my mind. I usually tell my friends, other people I meet, even when I'm on my YouTube channel and the other things I do on radio about healing, I usually tell people, we don't heal in isolation. We don't heal in isolation. We heal together. When we come here and we talk about this and we hear our experiences and we share our stories, we are healing together. You are like this. My space is about intentional healing, the power of a disciplined routine. You feel like, oh, maybe I wasn't able to do this, but maybe I can try. We are different, but even we appreciate the differences. And we're like, yeah, I think I can try. I think for me, that's what has helped me. I hear someone, I listen to them, I'm like, okay, I am different, but what does it cost me to try out what they have tried and see if it can work, So I can experiment. I'm like, okay, I can try this, And for if any one of us here is struggling with anxiety, it is well. Don't think that you are weak. Don't think that you are weak. No, you are not weak. You are not weak. I just want to challenge us that even whatever we are going through, there is something on this intentional healing that I believe, the power of surrender. And I think maybe next Monday we shall talk about that in depth, because I want to hear more from you guys. The power of surrender. Even when Laura said she feels like not waking up, and then yes, she wakes up, or someone with a chronic disease, and you feel like, oh no, this and this. I feel like there is a lot of power in surrendering to a higher power, to the universe, to God, and you're like, you know what? Here now, I know that this is where my limitation is. I feel like in life we are limited to a certain extent. We can do it all, and while we are doing it, sometimes we become like machines. We feel like I have it all together. It's like I've mechanized this system. But in between there, I feel like we need to reach a level where, like, you know what? I'm doing everything and I'm not going to give up on any disciplines. I'll continue doing my discipline. But meanwhile, while I'm doing all this discipline, I also believe that I can surrender, because there are things that you don't have control over. Imagine a chronic disease that you really know that it's all about me living on this medicine for a lifetime. And sometimes you wake up and you feel like tired. Suicidal ideations are coming in. You're extremely tired. But you surrender and you're like, you know what? I'm going to take in a day as it comes. When it comes and it's bad, I just have to remind myself that I am not going to die in this. I know in there is power working with me, accepting with the desires of my heart that I'm not surrendering my power to this disease. There is something I can do important with my life, even with this disease. There is. What else can I do even with this disease? Such pertinent questions, they are tough. They are hard to ask ourselves, I was going through a very terrible breakup and I felt like I didn't want to wake up. I felt like I didn't want to show up before friends, before people. I felt like everyone is aware of what has happened. But then along the way, I started challenging myself. But really, do you want your life to be defined by this? What else can you do? What else can you do? Just challenging my mind, scratching it to help me come up with something so that I feel I'm like, I'm not dying in this. I'm not giving up. I'm not. So like I said to Renee, I want to say it to all of us here as Kemi comes in. Please, it is painful, but don't give up. Just have it inside of yourself that my life, irrespective of what I'm going through, my life can still matter. Look forward every day to envision a kind of life that this life can still matter. Laurie, even when the business is not running as much as you want, keep telling yourself, this is out of my control, because it feels like you've done your very best, You could be doing your very best. But like I said, human beings are limited. Sometimes you do your very best, but we have a limitation to things working our way sometimes. So you tell yourself, I've done my best, but I am not giving up. I'm going to continue doing. And as I continue doing, I pray. Let the universe work and agree with my desire. Let the higher power work and agree with my power. And this part that I feel like I don't have control over, I've surrendered it. But this part, which I have control over, I'm going to keep doing my part. So, I just wanted to feel like interjecting and coming on that. Yes, Kemi, you want to say something? Thank you,
Well, I
guys.
was going
This
to ask you.
conversation is helpful.
I wanted to ask you. I was reading something, and they talked about the study they did was they took like one group of people and had them exercise for like 10 days, and then they took another group of people and had them exercise for 10 days. But those people got a small piece of chocolate after they exercised, and after the study was over, the people who had the chocolate kept exercised more. Like there's some science, and I just Googled it right now. I haven't really looked into it, but I posted an article in chat by Harvard Business Review. But I don't know, Lori, like pick one thing maybe, and then give yourself like kind of like, for me, like these sea salt caramels from Montana. I love, but they're like $75 or $1 each, So it's like I'm not ordering any online, but maybe I will, and I'll try it for 10 days. Try something like that with me, Lori. Let's do it and see if we can help build. Just focus on one habit only. I don't know, just a thought. But for our facilitator, do you know anything about how little rewards like that can help build these kind of habits?
You talked about chocolate. I think you need to send it to me so that I can read about it, so that I am able to give the right
Sure.
answer. Yes. So please.
I put an article in the chat, and you don't really have. We could focus on what you want to focus on, but it's just a thought
No,
for people.
it's okay. It's
Okay.
good. Like I told you, that I'm a type of person who believes that as much as we are different, but I want to try. I want to try out something new, because, like I said, we are limited. Sometimes we feel like what we are doing is the only thing that works, but not until you explore and tell yourself, "Oh, I think I can try this," and you'll be shocked that it can work for you, and yet someone else tried and didn't. So don't give up on trying. Don't give up on learning something new every day. It is okay. It's this journey of healing is tough. We just have to muscle up every day. Yeah, we just have to muscle up on it every day. Sorry, guys, there is a champion here. She's a 2-year-old that is making noise here. Yes, so thank you so much, guys, for coming up. Today it has been a big number. I'm very grateful, and let's continue journeying together, walking on this journey together. And like Kemi said, even in the beginning, I said, let's commit one thing. You don't have to do much, just one. Do it even when it's not making sense. Sometimes when we are going through pain, when we are having our anxieties, when we are having our worries, honestly speaking, things don't seem to make sense. Whatever routine doesn't seem to make us really feel good. Imagine you're anxious and I'm telling you, please run around, please dance. You're like, yo, what's wrong with you? Like, it doesn't seem to make sense, but the intention, the why as to why you are doing it, keep reminding yourself that even when you feel like, today I'm not going to skip, today I'm not going to eat, let the intention be at the back of your mind. Let it be so strong. Why do you want to get healed? Why do you want to bounce back? Why do you want to, to fight this anxiety and this depression, this sadness, Why? So let that why push you, be like, a push. Like every time you feel like you're getting tired, you're like, I'm not giving up. My why is so strong, I can't give up. I can't give up. I can't give up. And meanwhile, you also understand that this I have control, this I don't have control. If it's a business that is not running well, probably the economic situation. Then stop that. The economic situation. Like, you play your part, but then there is a part that no matter how you balance books and do whatever, you put all things together. Somehow, some things might not work your way. So you have to tell yourself that, yeah, I know a part of things might not work in my way, but me, I am going to do a bit of what I know that this can work and wait on the results. What we are doing tonight or this morning, according to your time, just take one step. Please step in there. Step in there. Renee, even if it means just being, I love being in the shower. I love being in the shower. I've been in the shower and I've cried in the shower, but I don't give up on being in the shower. I've gone there even when I don't want. And I tell myself the feeling of water, I am going to go there. I love listening to deep worship. So I've listened to some deep worship songs, and at first it doesn't make sense at all. I'm like, what's this song? It's like I'm not even listening to the words. I'm like, it's like these words have ceased to make meaning. Even when I listened to the very same song yesterday and it made meaning, today, at first I'm like, this song doesn't make meaning. But I tell myself, the pain I'm going through could be speaking louder than the reality of my life. So I'm like, I'm going to leave this song on and listen to it until it makes meaning. And guess what? Along the way, it starts making meaning. Along the way, my body, my mind, and my soul, like, bow down to my desire. So I feel like that's the push I wanted to throw us into, that do it even when it hurts. Do it even when you don't want, because you know your why and your intention. I don't know if we have any person in the last few minutes we have who wants to share something. And we call it a day, and we meet again next week. I'll have all of you in my prayers. I pray, but I don't force that on anyone. I've always asked people, do you want me to pray for you? Do you want me to have you in my prayers? Because I know we have different faith, we have different beliefs, but I strongly believe in prayer. And every group of people that I meet, without even asking for your permission, when I'm on my prayer mat, I mention names. If I'm able to remember names here, I'll make those names. I'll mention those names, that God speak into their hearts where I am unable to speak, where I don't have the answers to their question, where I don't have the answers to their situation. Speak, comfort, hug, surround them with an atmosphere that they have not felt before, where I am unable to make them feel that atmosphere. Like, I call on God because I believe I don't have it all. I don't have all the answers, but Him who created me, I strongly believe when I lean on Him, He's able to give me, to do the magic for me. So you are in your own country, I'm in Africa. Let me believe God to do the magic for me and deal with your heart, deal with those anxieties, deal with those worries, deal with that business, deal with that breakup, deal with that chronic disease, that today you may feel something different in your life. Smile, a joy, a presence that you've not felt before. That is my conclusion, parting shot for you guys. And I love each one of you. And honestly, I am going to pray for each one of you. Yes, anyone who wants to say something? Even if it's a bye-bye, it is allowed. Yes, Rachel.
Okay, so I have to ask this question. Nalunga, I appreciate you so much, and I just feel the overwhelming love and life that you speak into each one of us. And in my brain right now, there's a part of me that's like, yes, pray for me. And also there's a part of me that feels like almost guilty and not worthy of that. And I rationally know that that's ridiculous, because I would never. I mean, there's God, and I believe in God, and there's enough prayer and God to go around for each one of us. And yet at the same time, Renee, I look at you and I'm like, yes, you said, yes, please pray for me. And there's part of me that was like, oh, I also want to say that in the chat. And I'm struggling to feel worthy of that ask. So I just wanted to language that and put that out there and get it out of my head. And at least if I do that, it's not eating me up so much inside. So I just wanted to give voice to that and get it outside of me. And I appreciate having a safe enough space to do so. Thank you guys. I see you in the chat. I think we may have lost our amazing guide. The group says it's ending soon. So I know sometimes that we get kicked off after that. So again, I certainly don't want to be the one to take over, but I do just want to send all of you so much love and so much light, and know that today, like we can do this. So far we have all survived 100% of our worst days, and while I can never project the next moment, in this moment we are here, and so let's go make the next moment something amazing and fulfilling. Thank you all. I appreciate you. Take care.
Love you guys. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you, everyone.